Hey, 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 hey! Hope everyone is good. If that music doesn't get you up for a Friday night, nothing will. It's Jazz, it's the West Ham Minds channel. We're back, we're rebranded, got a new logo, some good music, different music. So, yeah, just keep changing, trying to make the channel better. So, hope you guys are doing well. I'm well, it's Friday, my favourite day of the week. It's been one heck of a long week, very, very tired. Looking forward to a couple of days off. Obviously, there's no football. There's no football this weekend, international break. So, yeah, more time to reflect on the kind of start we've had so far, I suppose. And this is it. This is the West Ham's kind of live fans chat show. I know we're a little bit earlier than normal, so I hope some of you can certainly join me and give me some of your views. Anything that you want me to talk about, any questions you may have, you can ask me. But before we really get into it, obviously got 3, 4 different topics to talk about. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you like the new intro, if you like the new West Ham logo. I've been working hard on that in the past week with different designers, so very, very tricky, but I think I've got something I like. And also want to promote 2, 3 sort of channel partners, sort of friends, different things they do across the West Ham family. Really, the first one you'll see at the bottom of the screen that there's kind of three sort of people I want to promote. Really, you probably know, yeah, West Ham Way folks. You know, got their own channel. It's ex-employees, Dave Walker, great people, known them for many many years, very good friends, and yeah, they do a pre-match event more often than not at most home games, a couple of hours. Yeah, I mean the event's finished. They start early, so like the Sheffield United one started at 11, finished at around 2. So you got time. It's at Hackney Wick. It's at the Colour Factory. Literally 10-minute walk to the ground. Different ex-players every week. They had Dean Ashton before that. I went to the Ian Bishop one. I think there was John Monker, and then there's another one coming up. You can get your things signed, speak to the players, and pints of £5. It's really well run. Our very own Frankie's involved in it as well. You can get food there as well. There's not a lot that you can't get there. £5 a pint. Yeah, meet ex-players, get things signed, take your kids there, get shirts signed, food at good prices, really. So that's the West Ham Way folks there. The other one I wanted to show you guys is we've got our very own Canning Town Len, who you must know who he is. Canning Town Len, very good, very talented artist, and does all those different great characters and pictures of West Ham. He nearly does one a week. I don't know where he gets the time from. I've got the Trevor Morley one, Cotty McAvenny one, many other things from him. So do visit Canning Town Lens Studio. Again, he's done that film for Amazon, didn't he, which you can search. Puts a lot of things out there for free as well, but very envious of artists. It's thing you're born with. It's God gifted, isn't it? I can't draw true straight lines, but great painter. He does originals, which are a bit expensive but brilliant. Then he does really good copies as well, which you can get framed as well. So that's Len. And finally, another good friend of mine, it's Vibes. So Vibes and Clothing on Instagram. Go and have a visit. Different bits of clothes on there, really. So yeah, different handbags and stuff. I think if my mouse behaves itself, yeah, you can have a look at bags, hats, tops, t-shirts, all that kind of thing, really. So they'll be kind of, I'll be helping to promote them in the ticker in the bottom right. But anyway, back to football now. Come on, the chat's a bit quiet, get on with it. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is it's Gerard Mark Bowen. Well, he used to play for West Ham, didn't he? A very own Gerard Bowen. Again, we always think about the modern football world as one about loyalty. It's with greed. It's one that doesn't understand the local fans. Before we used to, teams used to be sort of English, UK mainly. Some of them, half of them used to be from the local area. They understood what the club stood for, the fans, the culture, everything. And it's really nice to find and surprised me. Listen, I didn't think this was going to happen, and I am very happy, shocked at the same time, that Gerard Bowen, our very own fan favourite, reliable, runs himself into the ground every single game, very reliable. On David Moyes' second return, he joined, I think it's the same window, SOUCEK and Kufal, I might be wrong, in that December winter window, wasn't it? He came from Hull, born in Hereford, obviously married to Danny Dye's daughter, recently had twins, I think, lives probably locally in the area, been with us 3-4 years, in and out the England squad, looked at by Klopp and other teams. Mate, he signed a long-term contract with West Ham that makes him, if not already, one of the highest sort of paid players. And alongside that, we're hearing that there's no relegation clause or anything like that, which is so good to hear. I am gobsmacked. But again, very, very happy that Bowen's here. We can build a team around him. He's got good years ahead of him. He's 26, 27 and can play in any of those front three positions. Has even helped out up front when Antonio's been injured. Not that I want him to do that, right? But very, very reliable player. Good to see him back in the England fold. And yeah, we've got him tied long term. And again, well done, Mr. Sullivan. You know, you've got to give it to him, like I said earlier on. When it's not going so well, we can have a go at him. But Sullivan, seriously, you've got to hand it to him and say well done. You know, when things don't go well, we easily jump on Sullivan's back. But listen, Sullivan was negotiating for many months with Bowen's team, and he's come to a really good conclusion in terms of paying him really, really well. That, yeah, there's no need to have any kind of clause in there. We've got all the power. We got him tied up. Yeah, really, really happy. Again, let me know in the comments. Snazzy Azzy's in there, mate. I know there ain't going to be too many people joining this time, mate. You know, the Friday evenings, we leave that to our post-match pint mates across the road. But yeah, I really should have got this out of the way yesterday, but I was so busy doing all the different intros and the logos and so busy doing other stuff, mate. So yeah, hope you're well, Snazzy Azzy. You put your comments in there, mate. It's just you and me at the moment, I think. Come on, mate. Other people joining with your comments. Otherwise, I'm just going to go on and on. But yeah, Bowen, really, really good. I did do another program or show, didn't I, showing, because the key question is following on from the Bowen one is what formation do we play looking forward, especially with KUDUS? It's a big, big thing, isn't it? With KUDUS coming off the bench, scoring that late, well-deserved equaliser at Newcastle. Didn't quite get the 3 points because of one or two things like the referee and other things going on there, really. But that's the question that all fans are asking themselves. How do we fit KUDUS in? Who do we take out? What formation do we play? It's a really, really interesting, intriguing question that all fans are asking themselves. And we'll discuss a bit of that on this chat show. And I'll put that tactics thing on there and you let me know what you think. But it's quite tricky, isn't it? No, not really, because I don't go as often as I used to. I used to have 2-3 season tickets. I didn't have a channel of my own at that time, so I used to be on there quite often. What it is, it just takes a bit of time to queue. So it does take a while to get in there. But I love doing that, you know, love doing that. And that kind of got me the idea to get my own channel. So Nikki and Ryan sort of, yeah, really, really nice, got me on there. Had a good laugh with the boys over the years. But since I've had my own channel, if I go to a game, I'm kind of busy doing my own thing outside the ground and I just want to go home because I live so far away. So that kind of puts a stop on that, really. But yeah, chance for new West Ham fans to come on there and things like that, really. So yeah, I used to kind of be with Dom and Marshy and all those guys, really. Yeah, I'm always honest, Azzy, you know, honest views. Get myself into trouble sometimes, but I don't care. I mean, I'm passionate about the club and sometimes it does overspill, as you can see. Over the years, if we do really shit, I can't help it. And yeah, perhaps I too many F's, B's and W's sometimes. But I think I've calmed down a bit. I think I'm getting better. But the passion, yeah, come on, it's West Ham, isn't it? It's not Fulham or anything like that. It's proper West Ham. And we've got to say it the way it is and how we feel. And like with the Bowen thing, mate, you're not always right, but I was right about Moyes the first time. I only probably the only person out of all the channels, when Moyes came back second time, I had arguments with everyone saying he's the right one at that time to bring in, stabilise us, bring a bit of foundation in, and then we can go on from there. What surprised me is we've won a cup with stable, but I was expecting a bit more expensive football, which is coming. It's coming. I think I am. It's just the mindset of the West Ham fans. I think it is coming. You are seeing it. You rightly said in a lot of the games, there's pockets where we're zipping it about. So it's coming. It's just I've got this mental block, and I need to get rid of it, I think, and move forward with Moisey and see what happens. But talking about contracts and negotiations, everyone, I think David Moyes, I mean, they need to make up their mind about him. You don't want to go into January, February, and certainly trying to sign players in January where Moyes has got 4 or 5 months left. You never know what can happen. He might go somewhere else. I mean, you don't know. And Yeah, I mean, you know the way managers turn around. He was probably already one of the longest serving managers around and one of the more experienced and oldest. So we need to make our mind up, or the board needs to make their mind up. And I think support him or just make your minds up what you want to do. Obviously, I wanted Pochettino. He's having not a very good time at Chelsea, but I think it's all about choosing the right club for the manager. Like I said, if kind of Mourinho came to our club, I don't think he'll work. So just because you look at the stats and you think that's a top manager, I think managers are made for clubs. Poch was made for Spurs, done well at Southampton, but when he went to PSG and Chelsea, Man United, ooh, certain type of player, certain type of manager. Yeah, it's difficult. And again, West Ham, there's certain managers. I thought Bilic was the one for us long term, and then with the London Stadium move, the rails came off with the Payet thing. So again, you never know the way things turn out, don't you? Alan Pardew, I thought he was brilliant. I loved the way he rebuilt the whole team from scratch. You remember we got relegated. All those big names, they all kind of ran off the sinking ship, didn't they? And the man over 1 or 2 summers built a brand new team. Ben Yoon, Harewood, Rio Coco, young captain from Wimbledon. Right at the back, Ginger Collins, Harewood already mentioned, and then half that back four was kind of new, wasn't it? The Welsh centre-back pairing. A couple of people like Tompkins was coming through. Dean Ashton he signed, didn't he? Then kind of Carlton Cole came in. Tevez had a bit of a run. We had Robert Green in goal. We had Konchesky, didn't we? That great 2006 Cup team. Very, very exciting times. That was. That's it, his mate there. Which Italians, mate? I've not been following the news lately. Which ones, mate? Yeah, let me know. Let me know. Listen, I'm not on a run yet, mate. It's a bit early yet. But yeah, I mean, before we go into it, yeah, let me know your thoughts on where you think KUDUS could fit in. Yeah, we'll see what happens, mate. We'll see what happens with that. But KUDUS is a bit tricky. I'm going to share a screen with you guys, if I may. Let's find it. I've got so many screens. Let me see where they are. Let me just close that one, close that one, close that one, and then... Yeah, let me just find it in a minute. So many buttons here, everyone. There we go. I got it. There we go. Bum, ba, ba. Let's just put it down there for now. Yeah, I mean, if you have a look at this, it's pretty tricky. I mean, what I would do is, it's a hard decision. I would take SOUCEK out. I would take SOUCEK out. And this is how we are, ladies and gentlemen. If you have a look at it, this is exactly how we set up. Don't look at the formations that all these apps show you, Sky Sports show you, TNT show you. When you're watching the game live, this is how the players are sitting. So as you can see, in a way, Antonio's not really there either. I mean, he's kind of there and there and there. He's never there, but I'll just put him there just for your benefits as kind of, well, he's meant to be officially our striker. I'm not so sure, really. So like I was saying, SOUCEK more often than not is making those runs into the middle. Antonio's kind of there. But I think going forward, you've got to tell Antonio to stay there. And KUDUS is going to have to chance his luck on the other wing and be there. And then these three are going to interchange, because I think you're going to find a lot of the time, I think KUDUS might go in there, Antonio goes in there, Bowen goes in there, KUDUS might go. This is how we're playing. We're not sticking to one position. The front three are just interchanging all over the pitch, and same with the three CDMs. I think Alvarez is quite disciplined. He sits in front of the back four like a proper traditional sweeper stroke CDM, proper CDM. He's got no ambitions like Rice to go up front and start doing all these other things, long range shots, take corners, take penalties. He's happy just sitting in there. Prowsey and Paqueta are kind of interchanging as well. So I'm just thinking of this. It is kind of like a 4-2-3-1. But the bad thing, and you guys might have a go at me, is that I've taken SOUCEK out, who's kind of in form, isn't he? So I've kind of taken SOUCEK out because you've got to make hard decisions as a manager. I can't see KUDUS fitting in any other way. I mean, he can play up front and you put Antonio behind him, but if you put SOUCEK in, then I don't know who else. I don't want to disturb Paqueta, Ward-Prowse or Alvarez. Agard I've got big concerns about, but listen, I don't know who else can come in at the moment. Mavropanos, I don't want to put him under that much pressure. I don't know what he's like in the flat back four. It's very hard to find real good out-and-out centre-backs in a flat back four. You play three at the back with wing-backs. You could check Creswell in there, all kinds of people in there, you know. Agard would be one a world beater in a free at the back on the left side, pinging it about with Zuma in the middle, right? But flat back four, and you can see the issues. We need a proper striker in the next window, and then we need to improve the fullback area so they're more younger and more provide more of that width. Because BOWEN and KUDUS probably naturally want to cut in, so you kind of can see where the issues are. But we didn't. I mean, we're looking a better team than last year all round, really, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah, so many stories. Okay, oh, not again. I tell you what, it's silly, isn't it? I mean, you've got to have some common sense, haven't you, mate? Listen, if anything rocks those two teams, I don't mind because they're in and around us. We got Villa coming up. We had a tough 2-2 draw with Newcastle, who spent half the game trying to rough us up, which again says something about our reputation now, isn't it? Where they resorted to tactics like that. Newcastle couldn't play through us or around us. We were well organised, disciplined. Newcastle wrestling with us, weren't they, everyone? Which is after all the money they've spent. Yeah. Hello, matey. How are you? I've been busy revamping. Hope you like the new logo, mate. I've been revamping the channel. New intro, new outro, new logo, mate. Got new channel partners working with West Ham Waylot, Kenningtown Len mates. And I'm thinking of making a video outside. It's been a while. Hammer history videos. I've got to do one of them. I was trying to reach out to a couple of people. Hard to get a couple of people, mate. They're all busy, aren't they? Doing different things. But I'm well. I'm well. Channel's back, as you know, refreshed, rebranded. Got my loyal army with me. But I know I'm at fault. I don't do enough videos. I will try to. I've got to get on a roll now. I've got to get on a roll and keep banging them now, one after the other. Keep you guys happy, which I hope and I promise I can do, mate. But thanks for joining in, mate. Exactly, mate. Exactly. And dare I say it, and it did come out in the media where there were, well, Arsenal are getting one or two results very late in games and that kind of thing, making their own luck up, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, Rice is getting a lot of applause in the media. And I think Rice said I was playing even better. I think he was playing better for West Ham last year than he is at the moment. I've been watching the games, right? I'm not saying he's bad. He's better for us last year than he is for Arsenal. But the media saying he's gone another 2 levels. And Rice is saying, in more words than one, it's because I've joined the top 4, whatever they regard as a big team. And I didn't last year. But anyway, that's kind of what they're thinking. But for me, mate, you know I've been banging about Ward-Prowse for ages. And I'm glad it happened. We took our time, but again, like I said, with managers, players, they bond with teams. Like, well, I know it's not my business with Madison and the Spurs, but some players, and it is the manager's responsibility to find that players that will slot into your team, your club, your traditions, your theme. Like I said, you can buy Neymar, Mbappe. It doesn't mean they're going to set West Ham alight. You know, we saw that with Mascherano a little bit. It doesn't. You got to buy players that you think are going to adopt into the environment you've created already within the dressing room and the club culture. And Ward-Prowse, mate, I mean, Southampton is a family club, isn't it? Like West Ham, family club, well-run club, good academy. You know, so slotted in nicely, isn't he? And dare I say it, he can afford to probably drive back to his main home in Southampton more often than not. It's not that far. So he's slotted in well. Alvarez looks all right. Looks all right. Picking up a lot of yellows, but I suppose you get that CDM level, don't you? Interesting to see Højbjerg's not getting any game time, and Basuma got booked at their end, didn't he, and things like that. But yeah, Alvarez is good. Mavropanos we've got to see a bit more of. And then KUDUS, I think you guys like us. It's just that we're fans, aren't? And players like that excite us. We get you off your seats. The kids love it. Another thing, going back to Rice and Ward-Prowse, good to see so many children who used to have Rice on the back of their shirts. They've got Ward-Prowse now. So like I said, players come and go. Clubs remain, fans remain, and you get a new hero, don't you, straight away. So We've forgotten about it. We've moved on, mate. Really looking forward to that cup game. That reminds me, I need to get a ticket. Shit, I missed my Claret member window. Well, someone was telling me yesterday. I got to sort that out right now after the show. So I'm going to hopefully go to that Arsenal game. Good sellout, good prices. I think reasonably priced tickets for that. Hopefully will sell out, create a good atmosphere, get one over the Gooners. Hammerhead. You never know. I mean, when you look to that the Newcastle team, they got that 6'4" lump playing at fullback. They turned Joe Linton into a midfielder. So you've heard, it's weird. We turn Arnie into a striker. Anything can happen, isn't it? But flat back for Hammerhead, him as a centre back, mate. Big liability, mate. He just cannot mark anyone, and it's cross goes in. It's by luck if he blocks it or gets to it, mate. And more often than not, a good striker with a DNA striker is finding it easy to get in between the gaps of Zuma and Agard and just get in there, make those late runs. No one's picking them up, mate. But yeah, left back if he is, let's see. Doesn't get involved a lot, mate. Doesn't go over the halfway line a lot, mate. He's told to just sit in there. But due to that, it's a very disciplined role. He doesn't get many touches on the ball. That's why I'm saying he had more of a role at West Ham and did it okay, did it well. Over there, he's just sitting back as a sweeper. He gets about 2-3 interceptions a game, crucial ones as well sometimes. But how the media is boosting him up far more than what he's doing. So he's doing more at West Ham and getting less of a kind of a well done and things like that, really. So yeah, I mean, kudos. I'm thinking take SOUCEK out. Let me know in the chat if you agree. It's the only thing I can think of, but then I feel like a git taking SOUCEK out because I've been hammering him for a year and a bit along with Antonio, and he's just beginning to show a bit of form. But as a manager, you got to take those tough decisions. I mean, are people going to be happy with SOUCEK staying in the team on the back of a goal here and there? But apart from that, I think KUDUS has got a bit more to offer, doesn't he? Really. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what formation Morocco plays well, mate. Is it three at the back with wing backs, or is he just more confident playing for Morocco, isn't it? So we'll see. So like you said, we've spoken about BOWEN. Really happy about that. Happy about SOUCEK's form coming back in, and I'll put KUDUS in there, I think. And then in January, there's rumours we ain't got no money again. Ignore it all. Ignore all the links, transfers. Let's just wait till the window opens. But yeah, I think the club already know, and it's generally felt, even ex-employees said that we are going to go for a striker. We do need it. It's well overdue. It's just pissing everyone off now, right? And you don't want to put players in that role who don't want to play it, and then their form's going to go. So that's kind of what it is. I was going to speak about Antony in a minute on the back of that, but let's see what Hammerhead is saying in the chat. Rice, yeah, because I'm really happy we got 105 million for a CDM. Because CDM traditionally for me, Hammerhead, is just kind of what Alvarez does, or in the past what people done. Like you remember Batty and people like that. All they used to do, I say all they used to do, but what it was quite simple in terms of physically put your foot in, win the ball back, and quickly give it to the more advanced, skillful players. That's all you need to do. You don't need to win it and go charging up the field unless you are gifted, because you're going to leave gaps in the back. And it's nice to see Alvarez keeps it ticking, doesn't do too much apart from a bit too many yellow cards, but some of them are good professional fouls that the referee doesn't realise it should be yellow. So he's quite clever at that. But again, we don't have any patience, do we? He's coming to a new league. And we want people to just play like Ward-Prowse, because Ward-Prowse is playing the same league, same country, same language. He knows so much about West Ham. He's played at the ground. But we just want, KUDUS. We want him to score hat-trick every game. It's the mindset, isn't it? Which we get carried away with. Like a manager loses 3 games in a row. It's just what it is. We all get involved in it. It's the modern game, isn't it? Don't people forget that John Lyle's 78 team got relegated. And if he had been sacked, he wouldn't have had the time to rebuild the team, which took him 2 years. And then we won the FA Cup, won the old Division 2 title. We runners up in the League Cup, regularly top 4, top 5, up till 86, nearly won the league in 86. You don't know how things can change. You all know the story of Alex Ferguson. He was 1 game away of getting sacked. And then I think Mark Robin scored in an FA Cup game. So you don't know, do you? So I know the thing with Moisey is we've got to just see the good things he does, I think. It is frustrating in terms of subs. I think the subs in the Newcastle game, 73rd minute, that's late, isn't it? He does make you tear your hair out if any of us got any. But I wish I mean, I don't know who these extra coaches are. I heard 2 have arrived. I'm not familiar who they are. I mean, Martin Allen does the West Ham Way events. I mean, he was an ex-manager at Brentford. He's got a role. I mean, he's been a coach all his life. He ran, even when Martin Allen was playing. He's from Reading originally. Played for QPR, West Ham. Absolutely loved the player. Really, really great gentleman. If you ever see him in and around the ground, he's one of the true nice gentlemen. More than happy to have a good chat, handshake, lovely photos with the guys, good banter, great. And I think there's room for players like that in the coaches. I think Joe Cole, he verbally said he'd love to help out, but for one reason or another, hasn't been no one's been in touch with him. So I think David Moyes, he looks like he likes to be the lead general, isn't he? He doesn't want anyone in and around him, because apparently there's rumours that the coaches that have left out of frustration in terms of weren't able to express their interests, their kind of decisions, their kind of recommendations weren't taken on board. So is that baggage Moyes got? It's the substitutions, it's in game management, it's the coaches. They take a couple of steps back, they're not really involved. So if you look at our bench, we don't see a lot of activity, we don't see a lot of animation, we don't see a lot of finger pointing, things like that. And it's just what you're going to get with him. He's just too careful, well organised, and so far you got to say, more often than not, it's kind of doing all right for him. He's won a trophy, he's top 6, top 7 more often than not. There's no reason why he's going to get away from that, but the pressure is of the West Ham DNA, and the more you win things, the higher you finish, the more skillful players you want. I mean, that is the purpose of football, isn't it? To score a goal, entertain the fans. The last thing we want to see at home is defending from the offset, playing 3-4 CDMs, no one in the box, strikers scratching their balls on the wings. We don't want to see any of that, do we? But I'm always going to keep moaning, and it's just the way it is. But I'm just trying to weigh up both sides of it, really. It could be because of the pace, isn't it? Could be as he's trying to intercept to put his foot in, the players move that bit quicker, isn't it? So I think all players that come to this league, they have to respect how tough the league is. The bottom team can beat the top team. You saw Wolves beat Man City. That thing's always been in our league throughout history. No other league can replicate that. Anyone can beat anyone on any other day. You go to Spain more often than not, or Italy or Germany, it's your top 2, top 3. Last 50 years, just interchanging between each other. And every week winning 5-0, 6-0, 4-1. Things like that, really. Okay, fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Okay, let's see how that goes. But like I said, before I, as a manager, would do any of that, I would obviously know a bit about the player in terms of how he will fit in, and then I will speak to him, put my arm around him, go for a walk, go for a dinner with him, and say, mate, anything you need, what help do you need from me? What do you think is your best position in our formation? Do you have any ideas of, can we do anything better? It's good to just, I know you're the manager and you should know everything, but the modern management is about getting a group of people underneath you together, getting ideas off them so that they're not afraid to provide advice. You don't know. Those are the great generals that listen to advice. You don't have to take it on board, but at least let those people feel comfortable. So I'd always ask the player that I think, I brought you in to do that. Do you think that's what you think? Or do you think you should be... The last thing I'd want to do is play someone where they don't want to play, acting like a dictator, pushing them into it. I'm not that kind of guy. I think that's not motivationally good long term for anyone. And I just get that feeling that Antonio's kind of don't want to really play up front. He just does it, and you can see it's kind of sometimes it's kind of he can't do it physically, so that's why we have a go at him. He can't press, like I said, with the ball, without the ball, and can't go down the channels like someone else would with that better engine. So with KUDUS, if he's happy and he said, the manager, I'll play anywhere for you, boss. I've done it before, boss. I'm happy to do it. Then you should see that on the pitch. when you remember players like Philip Anderson, he didn't have a smile on his face. Haller, the most miserable player. Haller, you don't want to see that, do you? You want to see players with a smile, and that's reflected in the way they'll play. So you just got to look at that. And I'm hoping if he plays up front, that Moyes has done all the checks with him, and he's ready to do it. And again, if it doesn't work out when he said it would happen for him, just keep changing till it works. I think that's what management is about, really. Definitely, mate. I mean, Antonio, let me know what your feelings are about Antonio then this season. I mean, a couple of games he's done really, really well. Liverpool should have been 2-0 up after 6 minutes. A great pass from SOUCEK set him up. Nowhere to be seen. So I see very, very often, yeah, you give the ball to him, he loses it. Not quite there in the middle when you need him. When Bowen's running down the wing, he's looking up, there's no one there. Just doesn't have that striker's DNA in him. So I think we've got to use him sparingly and in a different way, I think. And surely we've got to sign a striker. I think Mbuma, I don't know what's going on. He's 18, 19. Moyes is being careful with him. I hope it's not that careful that the next news we get is that he's on his way out somewhere, you know. It's not good to see, is it? Not really, mate. I was in the school football team. They shoved me at right back, but I thought I had more skill than that. So I was the best at spreading it, passing it around, mate. Long, short. But I was in, yeah, kind of, they put me at right back, and oh, mate, that's hard. The right back's hard, mate. Running up and down that bloody thing. Oh, God, yeah. It's tough, isn't it? It's very different when you're playing with your mates, the playground on the pitch, and then when you go playing for teams and that. But yeah, I played a bit. Not after college, to be fair, mate. But up to school level, I was in the team right back. But yeah, like to think I had a bit of skill, mate. Bit of skill. But what they used to tell us back in the day, Hammerhead, was like, get rid of it, get rid of it. They'll never let you dribble it. They'll never let you spend 2 seconds on it. And you know, games at that level, mate. There's like 7 players chasing you. You've got like 1 second. Get rid. Put your foot through it. Clear it. Hoof it. So I never used to like the hoof it football, mate. But I'm hoping that since those days, you can see the England team is, well, I don't like this manager Southgate anyway, mate, but I'm hoping that, yeah, back in Brian Robson's time, football was kind of quite physical, and that's why we got tested in a lot of the international tournaments and European competitions. But I'd like to think now that with a lot of the players we have, international players, we can match anyone now with the skill, with the flair and all that kind of thing. Yeah, we're going to be playing him soon, aren't we? So I hope you are well, Mr. Atta. You're definitely right, mate. Maddison. The thing with Maddison was the injury record, which is really poor. And by sod's law, the kid hasn't got injured. Although he's hobbled off every single match. And then he played fancy football and they said he's kind of in red or whatever colours they are. He can't play, and he always does. So this is probably the longest unbeaten injury run he's had in 2-3 years. And I think he's got him into the England team or thereabouts. So the man is man of the match for them every single game. What I'm hearing is that the atmosphere at the ground, Spurs, is out of this world, off the roof due to the football. Looks like Levy has stumbled across a solution, which he sometimes do when he changed so many managers. He came from Celtic and then Aussie football before that. Looks like the players are bought into him. He doesn't take a lot of crap, so he's strong enough to put his message across. And it's a kind of transition. And I heard at Luton, they won with 10 men, but even when it was 0-0 half time, I heard that they were playing Luton off the pitch. They were creating so many chances. So can't wait to see us play them and see how our styles, see how we look against each other. It's going to go one way or the other, isn't it? Either our physical game is gonna match it and we get something out of the game, or they're going to play us off the pitch with how fast they're moving the ball around, and our defence is up and down sometimes. So it's going to be interesting. But I think Moyes is up for the challenge. I think he'll put SOUCEK in there and all that kind of thing. So we'll see, mate. So those are the main things I wanted to talk about. So yeah, let me know anything else you want to talk about. I don't want to talk about the transfer window yet. I think we've got some time still. But the way we've started with 7th, I think, sitting in nicely behind bottom six. And when he looked at our fixtures, I think we would have taken that. Okay, it's easy to look back and say that Bournemouth won one game. We should have won that. We went 1-0 up. We sat back. They could have won it 2-1. So it's things like that with Moisey. You go 1-0 up. Let's go for the second. It's hard defending a 1-0 lead, and no need to sit back against Bournemouth. There's no need for it. Captain. Are you happy with Zuma as captain? Are you looking at Ward-Prowse like me? We'll see how things go. How do you think about that? I don't want to go into it, but like if we get clipped in the box, we don't go down. Bowen against Liverpool, he got straight back up. How do you think about things like that? Apparently there's a penalty against Newcastle, but none of the players really said anything. That's what a captain should do, is kind of, I know we shouldn't do that, but this is what you have to do to get a free kick or penalty. You have to dive in a certain way. You have to complain in a certain way. Alvarez has got that bit of street nastiness in him, so I don't think we're that soft. I think when you look at Paqueta, you look at SOUCEK, you look at Alvarez, Mavropanos, Antonio, big physical players in this. I think we do have a physical presence about us. And I don't think he can be that nasty in this modern game anyway. He'll just get sent off every game. But I think we need, when things ain't going right, or perhaps like Bowen went down, he should have gone down with more intent and more complaint. The referee didn't even check it, So it's things like that. They got a penalty in the same game, didn't they? They got him masters at it, haven't they? Absolutely masters at it, really. Hammerhead. When you look back on his career, mate, he's done well. Leading goal scorer for Premiership. Came from Nottingham Forest under Bilic. Came as a right winger. Got played right back. A lot of injuries, in and out. But overall, you look at the games played. You look at the goals scored. How he's helped us up front. We can't knock him. It's just in games. Yeah, it's not even his fault. We need someone younger in there. But then there's news saying that when we do sign someone younger, he throws his prams out. He doesn't like any competition. So it's all up and down, mate. All up and down. Yeah, I think I'm 5'10", but it's a very unforgiving position. You need to be physical specimen, mate. You're just constantly trying to win the ball back. Midfielders have the glory where you win it, you give it to them. They'll spray a nice ball left, right. Striker misses 4 chances every time you get a clap and say, don't worry, mate. Respect the fullbacks. People like Gary Neville's and Julian Dix and Ray Stewart's and people like that. It's a very, very hard position. Even you might not like him as a human being. Carl Walker, what a job he does. You remember Ashley Cole? Wow. What a players. What a players. Thank you, Webster. Oh, I heard he was injured. Is he back now, mate? I'll keep an eye on him then. Let's see what happens, because he's been injured ever since he signed for us, including the start of this season, mate. But again, it's the scouts. I don't think we got much of a scouting system until hopefully now going forward with this new technical director. I think Rob Newman's still at the club in one form or another. They might have got rid of the other guy, I'm not sure. But hopefully going forward, you need to build it. You need to have experts in Latin America, all main countries, Europe, put some in Portugal. Look how many players come out of Benfica, Sporting Lisbon. Put some in Dutch football. Look at the football they play in Ajax. A couple in Africa, a couple in Australia. You got to set these up. You got to set these relationships up. These feeder club links with clubs all over the thing. Boca Juniors, all those people. You got to get in there early, and that's the thing I think Sullivan doesn't believe in. He doesn't believe in investing for tomorrow. He's all about today. That's why when manager's about to be sacked, he's done no research into who should be coming in. He sacks the manager, then he looks at who hasn't got a job. There's no thinking that goes into it. And even with the players, luckily Ward-Prowse, Southampton went down and we got him. Who else did we have lined up? Brighton, Brentford, you take any of their players, they know who's coming in. They got the list ready. It's ready to go. So we've got to work on things like that, a bit more of be proactive in every position, including the managers, that you are scouting the world. You've got a list. If something happens to Moyes, you know who you're going to go for straight away. Not that we okay. Let's look at who hasn't got a job, so we don't have to pay any compensation, or go for an old guy who there's no risk, or buy a player who's 30, who's 29. He's not much of a risk. You know, Brighton, Brentford, they buy players you don't even know who they are. They're 22 to 21. They sign them for 10 million. 2 years later, 110 million. Thank you very much, man. Do you know what I mean? It's what the public wants, mate. It's what the public wants. It's what everyone wants, and we all want goals. We all want attacking football. Hello, Mr. Dennison. How you doing, sir? Hope you are doing well, matey. But we were discussing, really happy Bowen signed a contract. Time for KUDUS to start instead of SOUCEK, I think. Whether it happens or not, I don't know. Antonio, from January, he should be playing a bit less and less on a different position, I think. And we need younger fullbacks, stroke wing backs, don't we? What about Areola? I mean, he's kind of gone under the radar, really. I was banging on for Areola last year. But let me know in the chat what you think about him and things like that. I mean, he's playing every game, which should have happened. That's the only way you get confidence. It's a very specialised position. There's a few things every goalkeeper needs to work on. As we know, it's a very, very difficult position, even in the modern game. How quick it is, how many shots happen on goal. You know, you've seen what's happened at Arsenal and places like that. And he knows the league. He was player of the year at Fulham, remember? PSG came from there. They're not going to have anyone hanging around who isn't good. I mean, obviously, with the Lloris Spurs retiring or about to, if he carries on playing well, he's going to be in the French squad more often than not. Obviously, every goalkeeper's got to work on how good they are coming out, punching the ball, clearing it, holding on to it, how physically they manage their penalty area. I think distribution's good with him. His throws sometimes reach the halfway line. Just let me know. Obviously, we'll find out a lot more about him by the end of the season, isn't it? Yeah, with Fab, I think he had a really, really well. He's one of the few players that came in under Fabianski and done well, wasn't it? Came from Arsenal, Polish international. Good guy to have around, but yeah, physically losing it a bit, wasn't he, with his distribution, his kicking ability. Yeah, it's just good to have him, I think, in and around the ground, I think. I don't know about that, is it? He was about 350 grand at United, wasn't he? Free agents, we love free agents. We love it. And lastly, before I go, everyone, I don't know if you've heard about those Inter Milan rumours with SOUCEK, where, just to confirm that his deal ends next summer, but we got the option of another 1 year extension, and he's 28 now. So that's just a no-brainer, that story. That's not going anywhere, that story. It's just crap. We've got 2 years with him. I think the negotiations to look at his contract and things like that. But like I said, with every club, mate, you got to know the right time to move on with players. I know it sounds bad, but that's the cruel way of getting somewhere in life. The last thing you want to do is, you look at someone who's done okay for you 4 years in a row and just keep going with them. You've got to look for someone better so they challenge each other and the whole club moves forward. That's what you got to do. I mean, maybe Liverpool got unstuck a bit by hanging on to one or two. You can see Arnold struggling defending, Robertson's getting pelters from the fans, and then suddenly they lost all those centre mid players and had to get their whole midfield revamped. Salah's probably going to go next year. Mane's already gone. So you can tell if you take too long, then you have to do too much at one time, which Moisey done. Moisey didn't do anything for a couple of windows when he came in, and then we had to buy 7-8 players in one window. Then he started complaining. Every window you got to get at least two. Well, in the winter, I know it's difficult, but even in the winter, get at least one in, like we do with Lingard on loan or anything like that. It works wonders, right? And then summer, you just got to get as many in that you need. And because there's a lot of things to think about. Contract negotiations, as you know, you get busy with that. You get busy with trying to get people out the door and things like that. But I'm that kind of guy, which Sullivan's never agreed, is Sullivan always believes get one out the door first, see how much money we get, then we get our targets in. I don't believe in that, because sometimes you lose your targets. I follow the Liverpool and the Arsenal model, where when the window opens, you get your boys in ASAP. Klopp don't piss about, mate. Even January the 1, as soon as that window opens, his player will be in the shirt, and he'll be in, like Arsenal. They did their deals really quick, apart from West Ham, obviously, took their time pulling their pants down, but That's the way I think. And then we're gonna get the money back anyway. You remember that example I keep telling you guys of, we wanted to buy Eze, didn't he? When we tried to get rid of Felipe Anderson, David Moyes wanted Eze, but Sullivan said no. He said one out, one in, and then we didn't get rid of Philip Anderson until the last day of the window. That's when Eze had already gone to Palace, and then we ended up with Benrahma, who's another interesting one. I think for me, again, it's time for Benrahma to move on. I think if you want to move to the next level, unless you're happy for him to play in Europa, Carabao Cup, play on the bench more often than not, he's not going to be a regular starter for us. You've got to accept that. He's not going to be a regular starter. And even if he is, half those games is going to be 6 out of 10s. And then 2, 3 might be 7, right? That's not good enough for a lot of clubs. It's strict, I know, but if when you're heading in that direction where you want to win things, you want to consistently fight with it. Look, we've got Newcastle around us with their money. We've got Villa with their manager and money now. So it's tough. Look at Chelsea United. They're down in the dumps, but how long are they going to be down in the dumps? Everton are struggling, got a new ground next year. They might come up sooner or later. It's unforgiving. It's unforgiving, and you just got to keep going, keep going, keep going. If you stop developing and you just sit there thinking you're just happy coasting, it's going to come and catch you, isn't it? Then you're going to spend more to get back to the improved level. You just got to keep doing it. Got to keep doing it. That's kind of my view. And yes, it is a shame that not many players are coming through the youth at the moment. That's kind of key. If you look at Alex Ferguson's teams, the key was half the team was the youth team, half of it. That's kind of key. You've got to bring players in, and it's not trickling in fast enough at the moment, isn't it, for us? Because we are traditionally known for that. And I know David, again, another thing that's more cautious, a cautious personality he's got. But more often than not, people like Ngakia and sort of Perkins and Ashby on loan, we haven't seen anything from them so far. Diangana, I thought he wasn't going to make it, and I think we did well to get 15-20 million out of Bilic. So more often than not, they don't really make it. I mean, Stanislaus was okay. He carved out a half-decent career for himself. But, yeah, it's just one of those things. But then the worry is that Liverpool City are stealing a lot of our 16-year-old youth players, which is, again, I have to look at why is that allowed to happen. They've got to bring in that system where I think it happened to Barcelona a lot. They kept doing it, and then I think they introduced more heavier fines. And then I think of payments that carry on to their club depending on how many appearances and how many things they do in their career. So it's not a case of City Liverpool paying just 400 or 500 grand, you know, and then they can pick up any 16, 17-year-old. And so they are going to be more stricter fines and things like that, really. But I'm going to call it quits. Let me see. Hello, Lee, mate. You all right, mate? You just joining in now, eh? I thought I'd do an earlier show. I thought I'd give your evenings back to you for your beers and for your other stuff you want to get up to. I've been all right, Lee. I've been all right. I've rebranded the channel, mate. So I've got new intro, new outro, working on other stuff, mate. And just to confirm that I will be banging in a lot more shows now, mate, more or less every day now. I had that 4-month break. I need to keep going, mate, and make you guys happy. So yeah, bring more new shows and always look out for new talent. So I'm looking for new people to join me. So keep an eye on that. If any of you guys ever want to join me on the channel, you can let me know. You know, my Twitter, just send me a private message or whatever. We'll sort something out, mate. But anyway, I'm going to close it now and wish you a lovely Friday, and hopefully I'll bang out more shows over the weekend and see what the West Ham news bring us, really. So yeah, you take care. Thanks for joining in, and yeah, have a good Friday, and we'll catch up hopefully over the weekend. Take care.